The dark side of positive thinking. You've been lied to about happiness. For years, you've been told that the key to a good life is maintaining a positive attitude, thinking happy thoughts, and pushing through negative emotions with a smile. You've been fed a steady diet of motivational quotes telling you to choose joy, think positive, and good vibes only. But what if this entire approach is not just wrong, but actively damaging your psychological health? What if the very thing you think is helping you is actually rewiring your brain in dangerous ways? Nobody talks about how toxic positivity is literally programming your mind to ignore reality. We've created this culture where every negative emotion gets shoved down with a motivational quote and a fake smile. But here's what's actually happening inside your head when you do this. Your brain is designed to process the full spectrum of human experience. It's built to handle joy, sadness, anger, frustration, fear, excitement, disappointment, and everything in between. These emotions aren't bugs in the system, they're features. They are sophisticated information processing mechanisms that have evolved over millions of years to help you navigate complex social and environmental challenges. But when you constantly suppress sadness, anger, or frustration with forced positivity, you're not healing anything. You're not growing. You're not becoming more resilient. You're just creating what psychologists call emotional debt. Unprocessed feelings that compound over time like interest on an unpaid credit card. It's like putting a Band-Aid on a broken bone and pretending everything's fine. Sure, you can't see the injury anymore, but underneath that cheerful exterior, the damage is getting worse. The bone isn't healing properly because you never actually addressed the break. You just covered it up and hoped for the best. This is exactly what happens when you use positive thinking as emotional bypass surgery. You're not dealing with the underlying issues that are causing your negative emotions. You're just painting over them with a coat of artificial happiness, creating a beautiful facade that's hiding structural damage underneath. The real problem is that we've confused acceptance with resignation and positivity with denial. We think that acknowledging difficult emotions means we're being negative or pessimistic. We believe that sitting with discomfort means we're not strong enough or spiritual enough or motivated enough to transcend our circumstances. But true emotional intelligence isn't about maintaining a perpetual state of happiness. It's not about forcing yourself to feel grateful when you're genuinely struggling. It's not about pretending everything is fine when your life is falling apart. True emotional intelligence is about sitting with discomfort long enough to understand what it's trying to tell you. Think about it this way. Your negative emotions are data points, not character flaws. They're not evidence that you're broken or weak or failing at life. They're your internal GPS system, constantly providing you with crucial information about your environment, your relationships, and your circumstances. When you feel angry, that's data. It's telling you that a boundary has been crossed, that something isn't fair, that a situation needs to change. When you feel sad, that's information too. It might be signaling loss, disappointment, or the need to grieve something that didn't work out the way you hoped. When you feel anxious, your nervous system is trying to alert you to potential threats or challenges that need your attention. When you feel frustrated, your psyche is highlighting the gap between where you are and where you want to be, motivating you to take action or make changes. But when you silence this sophisticated internal communication system with fake positivity, you lose access to crucial information about your own life. You become emotionally tone-deaf, unable to read the signals that could help you make better decisions, set healthier boundaries, or recognize when something genuinely needs to change. This is why people who practice toxic positivity often find themselves stuck in the same patterns, making the same mistakes, staying in situations that don't serve them. They've trained themselves to override their internal guidance system in favor of maintaining an artificial emotional state. The most psychologically healthy people aren't the ones who never feel bad. They're not the ones walking around in a constant state of bliss, posting inspirational quotes on social media about how blessed they are. The healthiest people are the ones who can feel bad without making it mean something's wrong with them. They can sit in the mess of being human without immediately reaching for the emotional bleach of positive thinking. They can experience disappointment without telling themselves they should be grateful. They can feel angry without shaming themselves for not being more zen. They can acknowledge that life is hard sometimes without immediately trying to reframe it as a growth opportunity. This doesn't mean they're pessimistic or negative. It means they're realistic. They understand that life includes suffering, and they don't waste energy trying to positive think their way out of the human condition. They know that pain is inevitable, but suffering, the story we tell ourselves about the pain, is optional. When you can accept difficult emotions without judgment, something remarkable happens. You stop fighting against your own experience. You stop wasting enormous amounts of mental and emotional energy trying to feel differently than you do. You can actually process and integrate difficult experiences instead of just covering them up. This is where real growth happens, in the space between what is and what could be. That space is uncomfortable, messy, and sometimes dark. It's the place where you have to face the reality of your circumstances without the comfort of denial or the false security of forced optimism. But it's also where authentic transformation lives. It's where you develop genuine resilience instead of brittle positivity. It's where you build real confidence instead of fragile self-esteem that depends on everything going perfectly. It's where you cultivate true wisdom instead of naive optimism. The difference between healthy optimism and toxic positivity is profound. Healthy optimism acknowledges difficulty while maintaining hope for the future. It says, "This is hard, and I believe I can handle it." Toxic positivity denies difficulty altogether. It says, "This isn't really hard, and if I think it's hard, that's my fault for not being positive enough." Healthy optimism validates your emotional experience while encouraging resilience. Toxic positivity invalidates your emotions and demands that you replace them with more acceptable feelings. One builds genuine strength, the other creates a house of cards that collapses the moment real life shows up. So what does this mean practically? It means stop trying to think your way out of being human. Stop treating every difficult emotion like it's a problem to be solved or a mistake to be corrected. Stop reaching for positive affirmations every time you feel something uncomfortable. Instead, try getting curious about your emotions. When you notice yourself feeling angry, sad, anxious, or frustrated, instead of immediately trying to change it, ask yourself, what is this feeling trying to tell me? What information is it providing? What might need my attention right now? This doesn't mean wallowing in negative emotions or using them as an excuse to stay stuck. It means treating them as valuable data about your inner and outer world. It means learning to trust your emotional guidance system instead of constantly overriding it with artificial positivity. Real emotional health isn't about feeling good all the time. It's about feeling everything when it comes up, processing it skillfully, and using that information to make wise decisions about your life. It's about developing the capacity to be with what is while working toward what could be. The next time someone tells you to just think positive or choose happiness, remember that you're not a broken machine that needs better programming. You're a complex human being with a sophisticated emotional guidance system that's trying to help you navigate the complexity of being alive. Your difficult emotions aren't your enemy. They're your allies, providing crucial information about your experience and motivating you toward growth and change. Stop trying to silence them with toxic positivity and start learning to listen to what they're actually trying to tell you. Because real healing, real growth, and real happiness come not from avoiding the darkness, but from learning to find your way through it with wisdom, courage, and authentic self-compassion.